Hi, my name's Justin. You tuned in for a brand new episode of Hi-Fi's Brain Dump. All right, so starting off today, we have a bit of, I don't know what we call this, maybe kind of science and health news, I guess, kind of in there with maybe some political news. But so what this news topic is about is recently Dr. Francis Collins, the head of the National Institute of Health, is trying to basically fight for to have the end basically of all male science panels. Basically panels, they get together for different various topics of discussing new medical findings and stuff like that. But for decades now, it's all been led by all male panelists. In fact, they even call them manels as kind of like a joke towards this. Dr. Francis has basically, testified in front of Capitol Hill to end this, to allow for, better opportunities for females, female scientists to get their opportunity, to have their voices heard on these panels as well. And it's not even just, for, equal rights amongst women and science, but it's also because he's trying to also fight for the end of, sexual harassment and amongst, females in the workplace and science field. And, for an older guy too, fighting for this too is actually kind of interesting, because it's kind of think that, a lot of this happens from, older males set in their ways, thinking oh, well, this is just how it's been since I, started calling stuff like that, men run the world and all that stuff. So the fact that this guy is stepping forward to try help fight for women's rights and the field of science is actually really interesting to me. In fact, I'm actually even surprised that this is something that even still happening. It's surprised me more and more, and this day and age, when you think that we've finally got into a point where all people are seen equal, and there's no boundaries between race or sex and stuff like that. I was really actually surprised when I came across the story to hear that this kind of thing was even still happening in the the science world. I would have thought by now women would have already been included in this type of thing. But the fact that someone has recognized that this is obviously an issue that needs to be rectified and is fighting to make it right is just fantastic. So I'm glad to hear that we're still making progress, to fix this so that, maybe we'll come to a day where, we're no longer going to hear this type of thing. That's what I would like to see. That's the future I want to live in. So, this is great news for me. And, I just hope that this works out and he's able to, finally talk some sense into these people on Capitol Hill onto making sure that this doesn't happen anymore. Now, we're going to move on to some tech news. So, recently, Google has just published an article basically promoting a new video game they've released. Actually, it's been out for a while now. As I was reading on here, it says that it's actually been out since the 1st of November of last year. Now, after they've tested a while and it's gotten some really decent reviews, now they're finally actually willing to promote this project. And it sounds mildly interesting to me. Something I don't know how interesting I'm going to be willing to actually try myself. But basically what it is, it's called Game Builder, and it allows you to customize your own video game, basically. It gives you all the building blocks to build and put together your own video game with different type of themes, characters, different, kind of video game styles. Yeah, it definitely sounds something that I'd be maybe interesting to at least check out. I don't know, if I'm really going to want to play it a lot, because even though I'm really into these kind of customizable builder games, there's obviously this being compared to Minecraft. I was really a big fan of Little Big Planet that has a lot of aspects of letting you do customization, so that. They have their whole little build section inside built into the video game where you can customize your own stuff in the video game. The only thing is, it seems like it's definitely going to be limiting, so like that. Like, there's only gonna be so many different characters, only so many different kind of themes you can go with for your video games. But at the very least, it sounds like it'd be an interesting teaching tool to get kids interested in something like this, I think. Because there's probably a lot of kids out there that are interested in thinking about maybe wanting to become video game designers, and this is something to at least get them set on the path. But like I said, it's going to be kind of limiting, so it's only going to be like, pique their interest to a certain extent, because, what they really would want to do is learn how to program their own unique characters, their own unique themes and styles and stuff like that into their own video games. But like I said, it's at least a building tool to get kids interested in learning about the video game building process. So I think that's cool. I think we'll go ahead now and just end with our final topic of the day, which is going to be in news and media. And this is going to pertain to the recent news that, again, another movie has been pitched that could possibly happen for Quentin Tarantino's final project, and that is a Star Trek film. This was something that was proposed like a long time ago, that he'd been talking about working on writing a script, and he could possibly be helming a project. And now it's come to light that it's more than likely could be moving forward. But that's not even the biggest news about this. What people are really kind of interested in talking about is the fact that he guarantees that if he's going to be making this movie, he wants it to be hard R. And that's where the controversy in this whole topic is kind of leading towards. Does Star Trek really need to be hard R? Like, it's not something that's been like super raunchy, filled with sex, drugs, and violence. It's been pretty mellow and stuff like that. Even in the movies, when they've had the opportunity to try and make it darker, have they really tried to put a lot of adult content in there? They've kept it in like the PG-13 range, and I think it lives perfectly there. You reach a broader audience with PG-13. And I just, something I don't really think is just like a sci-fi genre that has to be filled with all that, extra violence or sex or wherever it is he wants to add into it to make it a hard R. I think it'd be perfectly fine, just keep it in that PG-13 range. I don't see it being necessary at all. And I've even heard, like they tried to do this experiment with that in, the new Star Trek Discovery series that they released on the CBS All Access, and they tried making it like a kind of a really adult content type, Star Trek show, where I hear there's like some really explicit sex scenes and some foul language, and some of the hardcore fans didn't like it. On the other hand, the only argument I could make towards this is the fact, those older fans that it's, are set in their ways and want to see it continue just the way as it has, is just like kind of a PG-13 range television series or movie franchise. They're getting older and stuff like that. They're aging out. They're, eventually not going to be, the main demographic for this anymore. So you could say that the fact that he wants to make it R is maybe because he thinks it's going to appeal to a new audience and so like that, and try and get them on board with this, and maybe do want a darker, edgier take on Star Trek. It remains to be seen if that's what they really want. So, because, that's the caveat. The only way you're going to really know for sure if they're going to go for that is that you have to be able to make it, market it, and see, like, how the fans react to that. Based on what I already seen, though, from them trying to test this out, like I said, in the Discovery series, and what I've heard from fan reactions to this, I don't know how well this is going to go over with fans. I'm still kind of on board with Quentin Tarantino doing it. I'm more on board with the other project he was said to maybe be doing, the Zorro and Django crossover. We'll see. Like I said, it remains to be seen. You have to apparently test the waters really to see for sure what the audience is going to really, how they're going to react. I think that's going to go ahead and end it for this episode. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, be sure to tune in some of our other content on the channel. such as our Hi-Fi Pop me and my brother do on Tuesday, where we just review pop figures, new figures coming out, or just sit around and talk about pops. Another show I do on Wednesday is Canceled Misfits, where I review canceled television shows. But that's going to be it for today. Thanks again for tuning in. Goodbye.